Hey guys, it's David Franklin here with Cartersville UNCUT and State Senator Bruce Thompson, who's running for Labor Commission. We've done some videos on stuff like that. Man, you're wearing a bunch of different hats, aren't you, Bruce?
I am. It's
So,
making my hair fall out, can't you tell?
hey, listen, but that just happens to us at age. Bruce, you've been keeping a crazy pace. But let me just look backwards this year. Tell me something you've done fun or something that's been meaningful to you. You know, what have you seen? Family, business, something, because people need to hear something good.
You know, it's interesting because I would say that as we come to the end of the year, as you know, the 26th, I had to fly out to Montana, back where I grew up, to help facilitate a funeral for my stepdad. And going back to my home state and seeing how much it's changed, but how much it's stayed the same.
Yeah.
And being able to see that Montana is not that much different than Georgia. People are pretty conservative. They want to be left alone. They want to have their guns, but they want some money left at the end. And it's not an anti-government sentiment, but it's, hey, listen, regardless of your income, we're all dealing with different kinds of stress. And being able to spend time with people that I grew up, you know, it's funny, you walk in and they say, hey, do you remember me? And you're like, you look familiar. And you say their name, and it's like, no, that was my dad. And they look very similar. But the one thing that stands out most of all was earlier this year, I was in Carrollton, and I mentioned this before. A guy walked up to me and he said, hey, do you remember me? And it was a guy I grew up with in Big Sandy. And he went off and
Wait, a guy in Georgia that you grew up with in Montana?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Kurt Henley. And he started a company, and it was acquired by Southwire, and he moved down here. And it's just great to reconnect relationships. I think COVID has forced us to understand that it's not about your income. It's not about the things that you've acquired. It's about the relationships in your life. And as I said at the funeral, don't wait until it's too long to say the things today that should be said today. Because if you wait until tomorrow, tomorrow may never come.
Yeah. No doubt. That's some good wisdom. Bruce, running for Labor Commissioner, you still are a state senator.
I am.
And so, anything this past year that stood out that you were like, hey, this was really good being a state senator. I got to do something to help people.
Yeah, I mean, for 4 or 5 years, I was working on a bill called the Tim Tebow bill, and it simply allowed homeschoolers, which is rapidly growing, especially during the pandemic, to be able to participate in extracurricular activities at the school of which they'd attend. And we just kept running into a wall and so on. In my relationship with Dr. Hines, which I'll give him a shout out, he is the executive director of Georgia High School Association, and we just did not see eye to eye for years on this bill. And we sat down and spent some time, and he said, you know, it's time. And with his help, we got it done this year. It's called the Dexter-Mosley bill. And that may not be meaningful to some, but to the homeschoolers throughout Georgia, being able to have their kids, especially after the pandemic, be involved in band and whatever, that was huge. And so if I was able to pass no more bills, I would say that bill alone, it really makes you feel good.
And listen, I actually know some kids in Cartersville. One of them's playing basketball right now. Homeschool, but he's playing basketball. And it's just, that's a good thing. Listen, we'll be right back, but I'm going to ask you, Bruce, going into the next year, what are you hopeful about? What do you think one thing that's going to be good about the Senate stuff coming up? And then we'll say something about the Labor Commission race, because I know you're after that hard and heavy. So we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Joshua Goodman with Elite Stone Supply. We sell everything from hardscaping, landscaping, stone, Husqvarna equipment, and premier portable buildings. We can make them from 6x10 all the way up to 16x40. We make garden sheds, garages, cabins, barns, anything you can think of, we can make it happen. Do you need to store Christmas stuff? Do you need to store a lawnmower? We can take care of that. Do you need to get away? Do you need a pool house by your pool? We can make it happen. Come check us out at Elite Stone Supply.
SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you find a huge selection of high-end mattresses without paying high-end prices? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. Where can you save 50 to 80% off retail every day? SOS Mattress, best quality, best price, guaranteed. We offer the lowest prices on the best name brand mattresses. SOS Mattress and Clearance Center on Highway 41 in Cartersville, 1 block south of Home Depot.
So now we're in our Napa Auto Care Center with Chris Hughes, our shop foreman over here. Chris, it looks like we're pretty busy over here. So for our public that don't realize that we've gone mechanical, what all do we do over here?
You name it, we do it.
Oil changes?
Oil changes, alignments, rotates, brakes, suspension. We can put your new transmission in for you. We can do your engine, whatever you want us to do.
Tune-ups, check engine lights?
Absolutely.
So Chris is our shop foreman over here. This is our Napa Auto Care Center. This is the mechanical side of the business. Chris is doing a fabulous job. Y'all, if you need anything mechanical, oil change, whatever, give us a call.
If you've been injured in an accident, call the Glenda Mitchell Law Firm.
Give us a call anytime. You'll talk directly to me.
Let this specialist in auto accidents fight for you. Call 770-694-1883 today.
Hey, David Franklin here, sitting down with Dr. Phillip Page, Superintendent for Bartow County Schools. And if you don't know where Bartow County is, just leave downtown Atlanta, come north on 75 toward Chattanooga, go past Cobb County and Marietta, and Bartow County is the next county up. And just a little sideline, it's better in Bartow, but that's for another day. Listen, Phillip Page, thanks for sitting down with us and just talking. I don't know if anybody who's had a tougher challenge to lead during a pandemic than you, but the success in our school system is crazy. And so we just want to talk about, okay, what good is happening and how in the world did it happen that we are moving forward in what's been crazy?
Well, thanks for allowing me to talk with you today. It has been tough. I mean, I think anyone working in a school system knows the challenges that we have faced over, the last year and a half that has never been faced before. So, the key was trying to figure out the best path forward in a place you've never been before. So for us in Bartow County school system, we're blessed to have been part of and already implemented a professional learning community environment. So for us, we already had teacher collaboration in place, which allowed us to continue being able to work together and to focus on where the kids were when we all had to go distance learning for that short period of time. But then coming out of it, because we did have our professional learning communities in place, we were able to communicate more effectively, and we were able to work collaboratively to determine what is our best foot forward. And so through working with our parent advisory committee, working with our teacher advisory committee, and working through our system guiding coalition, we were able to come up with an outstanding plan that focused on students and their learning. So whether they had to be distance learning or whether they had to be in person, we were able to execute a plan put into place. And because of that, we did, as you said.
What's the result?
Yeah, the results is we were recognized this year as a model PLC school district. And so to get that, that's a national award. And to get it, you have to have 3 years worth of growth and results for it. So very proud to get that recognition. We had 7 of our schools recognized as model PLC schools. We've got more coming. We also had historic graduation rates. So last year, seniors, all 3 high schools were above 90% in their graduation rate. We had the highest as a system ever. Our SAT and our ACT averages for the first time ever was ahead of the national average.
Which is awesome. I mean, that awesome. Just, hey, that's awesome. Other things, I mean, because you measure stuff. Yeah. SAT, ACT, that's huge, but that's not all.
Well, we had more students taking advanced placement classes. We had more students scoring 3 or higher. We had more students with completing dual enrollment courses. Our college and career academy continuing to produce students who are work ready immediately. So excited that our kids were getting jobs right out of high school last year, and we're just excited. Lots of good things are happening in spite of this pandemic.
Yeah, you guys, one of the things that Dr. Page and our whole school system has done, if you want to go to college, they've increased your preparedness for that. If you want to go into the workforce, I mean, so we've got the best of both worlds. Phillip, what's now I know you don't ever rest on your laurels. We've got kids meeting in classrooms and all that kind of stuff, but what's coming? What are you doing in the days
What's
ahead?
coming is we got a process to perfect. So we know that we're not where we need to be, whether we're looking at essential standards for students, proficiency for students. We know we have work ahead, even though we've received the national recognitions and we've come a long way. It's a process to perfect. So we're going to continue to get better and better and better for our students. but also coming through the pandemic, we have noticed our students having more mental health issues. And so we are working with our community. We're establishing a program called Someone Cares for You. That will be a community-based program, but we're going to be confronting a lot of the issues that are causing our students some mental health issues. We know that mental health is a barrier to student learning. So in a professional learning community, you recognize barriers, you figure out a plan to overcome those, and that's what we're going to be doing.
You know, Phillip, and I'm part of that community team, and guys, we'll come back and share some of that stuff. But if a kid is not emotionally healthy, he's not going to learn as well.
No.
And so that's something that I just applaud you to say, hey, it's not just about academics, you got to do the emotional stuff. So listen, thanks for sitting down with us. And I'll come back because some of the stuff that school's going to do, the whole community is going to learn about, and it's going to make a difference, not just in the school, but a whole community as we're more emotionally well, not just in the schools, but across the community. So listen, thanks for joining us. You have a great day.
Hey, it's Kelly Jones at Kennesaw Transportation. I have exciting news. We have rolled out a new pay structure program that did a big increase for our drivers. We have teams, solos, and then we also have a training program. So if you're a new CDL holder, we would love to have you join us, or if you're a established or seasoned driver, we'd love to have you. My phone number and the website is listed below. Call me and I can go over all the details with you. Thanks.
Hey guys, Tim here at Treasure Chest Outlet. Hey, why don't you come on in? Let me show you around at some things we've got here that you might need. Take a look at our sofas. We have reclining sofas, we have stationary sofas, we have a selection of sofas on the floor. We have more coming. Come on in and check them out. Hey, we have a large selection of rugs. Kind of take a look at what we have here. Pick out your favorite color. We have them in 5x8s, 8x10s. We also have 4x6s. 4x6s start at $29. 5x8s start at $79. And 8x10s start at $129. You just never know what you're going to find here at Treasure Chest Outlet.
This is Cartersville Cell Phone Repair. We appreciate the community and enjoy serving you. Stop in for great deals for cases for all model phones. We have gently used tablets, phones, computers, car mounts, pop sockets, and Bluetooths. Not only are we the most committed phone shop in Cartersville, but we pride ourselves on quality repairs and sales. Stop in today. Come meet our team. Thanks, Cartersville.
Hey, this is Joe Wilson, co-owner of Parnick Jennings Funeral Home, Cartersville's locally owned funeral home, serving all of Bartow County since 1977. The biggest difference of our funeral home here in Bartow County, Cartersville, is that we are a locally owned funeral home. We make all our decisions right here in the funeral home. When people walk in the door, they're going to meet the owner and know that we're making decisions on what's best for the families that have placed their trust and confidence in us and the needs of our community. One thing we always say to families that place their trust in us is ask a family we have served. We want people to know that when they come here for probably one of the most difficult experiences in their life, that they can feel comfortable with us. On behalf of myself and all the staff here at Parnick Jennings Funeral Home, we want you to know it would be our honor to serve your family during your time of need. Please call us at 770-382-0034.
Hey guys, David Franklin back with Senator Bruce Thompson, Cartersville UNCUT. Bruce, you, man, 2022. We've never walked in 2022. So let me just kind of break it down, and I want to ask you this. As a state senator, what are you looking forward to in the upcoming sessions?
So I've got several bills that I'm working on. One specifically is the APR bill, and that is, regardless of where you're at on the abortion issue, right? I introduced the heartbeat bill in the Senate and we were able to make that law. But regardless of where you're at, we care not only about that unborn child, we care about the mother afterwards, right? And the mother that may have made a decision that now she regrets. Well, The federal government, as you know, just recently said that they're going to allow you start mailing abortion pills to homes without the supervision of a physician. And that's wrong. We shouldn't be handing out medical devices or the ability to do things without having a physician at least being able to advise. We didn't go to medical school, right? There's a reason it goes through an FDA process, right? And so I've got the bill that mandates that this has to be under the supervision. It's not weighing in whether or not you can or can't. It's just saying we're not going to put women's lives in risk or in harm because they made a decision that was mailed to their home without the guidance of a physician. So but it's going to be controversial because you know how we are. We like to make things controversial.
And Bruce, you've never been controversial. I'm just surprised.
Not at least in the last 15 minutes I haven't. Listen, the way I was raised is if you believe in it, let's fight for it. And if it's worth fighting for, let's go fight. And don't look for a fight, but by gosh, you know you were in one if you bring it to me. So
well, and one of the things that I know about you, just because you're running for labor commission, that doesn't mean you're going to quit representing your folks. And I know you're a fighter. So let's jump to labor commission. Mm-hmm. I know you've been burning up the roads. I mean,
40,000 miles since June.
Unbelievable. I'm so glad I'm not running for labor commissioner.
Well, Robert Lohr loves it because it means I'm going to get another truck. So.
So what do you see that has encouraged you as you've driven across the state of Georgia?
You know what's interesting is you go across the state, and we've heard this. There's two Georgias. There's a city and there's a country, and I would say to you, there's many Georgias. Yeah. You go down into Russ Goodman's area, Senator Russ Goodman's area, where it's a blueberry capital. You go up into Elegy and you've got apples. You go down into the swamp country down there, and they've got it's such a diverse state, but yet the people of Georgia are all the same, and that is, for the most part, most people are in the wedge. They're not way over here on the right, and they're not way over here on the left. They want to see less fighting in the political spectrum. No matter who you talk to Democrats or Republicans, they're just sick of the political environment. And I'm hopeful in 2022, even though it's going to be a very interesting political year, but I believe as a country we can come back closer together. I just pray, honestly, David, it doesn't take something from the outside to do it. Not another 9/11 or something like that, or a big recession. It's the best country in the world to live in, by far. So let's fight for that, but let's not fight each other for it.
That's a good word. All right, one last question.
Yeah.
Let's do something personal, okay?
Uh-oh.
Everybody wants to set New Year's resolutions, or they're looking forward to a new year because you kind of get to this year and you're like, okay, I'm glad to put this year behind me. I'm looking forward. So what's Bruce Thompson looking forward to next year, or maybe some resolution, just something that, hey, maybe the people would never know about you?
Well, there are three things, honestly. Number one is Faith graduating college, and I get a pay
wait.
raise.
That's his daughter is graduating from Stanford University, and you are going to get a pay raise. Hey,
yeah.
Good for you, man.
Yeah. So I mean that, but not too long ago I went through a battery of tests. I just want to make sure I was fine, and I think I had mentioned it before. And my cardiologist said, this is good, my cholesterol's good, everything's great. And he said, but you're fat. And so I'm like, ouch, I'm paying for this? And he said, listen, I want to see you down around 180. And so I need to drop a few pounds, right? And so that's important. But obviously, I want to see us win the Labor Commission. I've never run statewide. We didn't do this so that we could have a position or a paycheck. We're doing this because we believe it's worth fighting for. And workforce development in our state, regardless of where you're at. And when I say workforce development, you think about this. If you own a business and you're doing quite well right now, you're limited because you don't have employees and you need workforce. If you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're just getting by and you're trying to improve yourself financially, and you can't figure out how to marry up with the jobs, and you're out there, we need to be helping them as well, and everybody in the middle. So winning this Labor Commission race and really focusing on workforce development, to me, becomes a bipartisan situation that frankly is to, regardless where you are politically or socially, we can go out and do something great for them. And I look forward to that.
Yeah. Listen, I keep trying to float this idea, so I'm probably going to get it done the next one, maybe the one after that, and that is what drives Bruce Thompson. Because most people don't know some of the stuff like going back to Montana and stuff like that, because you grew up in a really, really difficult situation. So I may see if I can squeeze Cartersville Uncut and come back and do one with you that says, let's dig deeper into what really, because I'm telling you, not me, I wouldn't have run for labor commissioner, but why do you love to champion for the underprivileged and the underserved and everybody? I mean, it doesn't matter. You're just that kind of guy. So listen, thanks for joining us. Guys, have a great year. Bruce, you know, I pray that everybody, not just in Bartow County, but across the way, that 2022 is a better year than 2021. And we had some great things in our family happen. We also had some, you know, life just is life. And so there's struggles, there's good stuff, there's tough stuff, but you know, if you keep your focus right, it's amazing how we can do.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. 2021 has been tough.
Yeah.
2020 was tough, right?
Yeah.
But 2021 was a little better than 2020, and 2022 is going to be even better than 2021.
Yep. So listen, we'll be back 2022. Thanks for watching Cartersville Uncut. Share this with your friends, stuff like that. And listen, you be blessed and put a smile on your face, because people are forgetting how to smile, don't you?
Hey, this is Senator Bruce Thompson. Listen, I'm running to become the next labor commissioner. It's been pretty clear during this COVID situation that we have challenges out there for people that needed to get their claims, and then frankly, as taxpayers, we had 38% of the claims that were paid were fraud, and we should do better than that. We expect better, and I'm willing to do better. This agency is broken. I'm the guy to fix it, and I want to bring the integrity and the trust back to the government, and we'll start with this agency. Bruce Thompson for Georgians. Hey, I appreciate you voting for me.
Hello, Cartersville. If you haven't been by lately, come on by and check us out. We've totally revamped the store. We've added a lot more large capacity washers for your big loads. We have 40 pounders, 60 pounders, and 80 pounders for those huge loads. If you've got large bedding, come on by and see us. We've got the machine you need from a single person all the way up to a multi-family. If you're tired of doing laundry yourself, we offer a wash, dry, and fold service where you can drop it off. A few hours later, come back, it's ready to wear. We're located at 406 North Tennessee Street. It's All American Coin Laundry. Come by and see us for all your laundry needs.
Hi, welcome to Spencer Family Medicine. We're located on Henderson Drive in Weston Commons Shopping Center.
Unlike most medical clinics, we do labs right here in the office, including x-rays, saving you the hassle of scheduling yet another appointment across town.
Here at Spencer Family Medicine, we accept almost all insurance plans.
And we can almost always fit you in for same-day appointments.
We serve patients young to old.
From urgent care issues like broken bones to long-term issues like weight management and hormone therapy.
Not only that, but Dr. Spencer and staff are trained in aesthetic work.
So come to see us at Spencer Family Medicine. We would love for you to be a part of our family.
I'm Dr. Spencer, and I approve this message.
Okay, girls. Ready?
Okay. Ready, go.
We're out here at Etowah Indian Mounds. This is Keith. What's your title here, Keith?
I'm technically the curator.
Curator.
My name tag still says I'm the interpretive ranger.
Now tell everybody, where is Etowah Indian Mounds?
Etowah Mounds is out here on 813 Indian Mounds Road in Cartersville, Georgia, just on the south end of town.
How long have these mounds been here?
The oldest that we can tell, this particular mound set started to be constructed around 1000 AD.
1000 AD.
Yeah, there were some older mounds in the area, like the Leak Mounds over near Ladd's Mountain, that were constructed around 300 BC. That would have been the capital before they moved up into this area for the Native Americans.
And this is the actual site?
This is the actual site.
Wow. I mean, that's heavy duty. Okay, now what are the Etowah Mounds?
Well, there's several different types of mounds. There are funerary mounds that the elite people would have been built in, and then there's habitation mounds that literally build up over time as a house is constructed and falls in, and another house is built over top of it. And then there's what we call the platform or ceremonial mounds, and these are the mounds that usually your elite people lived on top of. So your chief priest
or council buildings that your elders or your ward council would have sat on. So they're basically giant foundations for buildings. And the taller they are usually represents the more important the people on top of those mounds would be.
And surrounding these are the people.
Yep, the people. We know.
Or the Indians.
Yep, the Indians. They would have lived on both sides of the river, up and down. Villages probably every 3/4 of a mile, half a mile apart, all up and down the river, farming. Fish traps that we see all up and down the river would have been where they were harvesting fish to eat, but they were also harvesting the fish as a way of producing fertilizer. They literally were the ones that come up with the idea of putting fish meal, you know, in your fields to help the plants grow. They would take the parts of the fish they didn't eat and bury right there in their corn crops, and that would produce a lot of nutrients.
They live in teepees, or how did they live?
They actually lived in houses that we call wallendaub huts, or trench houses. They both have a similar shape, usually square around. With the wallendaub houses, they would drive posts into the ground and they would weave smaller sticks around it, so it's like making a giant basket, and then you would pack a mixture of clay, grass, moss around it, kind of like the chinking in a log house, all around it. And as long as that stays dry with a good roof, you've got a pretty nice, cool house. The trench houses, they basically dug a trench in the shape of the house they would want, and they would put the logs in there and kind of lean them together over top of some other structures, and then they would cover that with either bark or grass. Those seem to be from two different time periods.
Were they a peaceful people?
Well, they had two chiefs. One was a peace chief and the other was a war chief, so they were peaceful part of the time and warlike part of the time, and it's probably both going on at the same time with different villages.
What happened to them?
Well, we know that Hernando de Soto come through the area in 1540, and a lot of his people off and on through the area were sick. We actually know that he left a member of his party that was very sick to the point he was about to die up in a place that's called Coosa or Coosawati. That would have been at a site about 40 miles north of here. He traveled through this area in August, so actually about this time of the year. There was a huge flooded area. The river was flooded. He stayed here for about a week, and the best we can tell, not too long after here, people got very mad at him, and so basically they chased him down. But as far as what happened to the people, they seem to have caught those diseases that he brought through, and then that of course in some cases destroyed the political system, and then you have infighting within the Native Americans trying to gain control. We really are not sure exactly what happened, but by the time the next explorer come through about 20 years later, this site doesn't even seem to have existed. So it seems to have been abandoned by about 20 years after De Soto come through.
Is it haunted?
Some people in the local area think it is, but the Native Americans, they've come out here and every time that we do archaeology, they do some ceremonies to put the spirits at rest. So shouldn't be haunted.
This is Etowah Mounds. That's Etowah Indian Mounds or Etowah Mounds?
Either one. Different people have referred it to different things. This used to be, of course, called the Tumlin Mounds up until the time the Tumlins sold the property in 1953 and the state bought it. So it's either the Etowah Indian Mounds or the Etowah Mounds.
And everybody's welcome out here.
Everybody's welcome.
All right. Keith, everybody, thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.